Hey everyone, imagine waking up to a world where Asia's giants are rewriting the rules, leaving America in the dust. From secret deals to bold moves against US power, these shifts are shaking global alliances. You won't believe who's number one, it's a game changer. Hit subscribe, smash that like button, and watch till the end for the full reveal. Trust me, this could change how you see the world forever. What's next for the US? Stick around to find out. Number 10. Philippines. The Philippines, once a close U.S. ally, started rethinking its ties in 2025. Under President Marcos Jr., the country faced U.S. pressure over South China Sea disputes, but Trump's new tariffs hit Philippine exports hard, like electronics and fruits. This made Manila look elsewhere for help. They signed bigger deals with China for infrastructure, like ports and roads. China promised billions in investments without strings attached, unlike U.S. demands for military bases. Geopolitically, the Philippines joined more ASEAN talks, focusing on regional peace instead of US-led patrols. Economically, trade with China grew by 20%, while US imports dropped. Leaders said it's about putting Filipinos first, not following Washington's orders. Public opinion shifted too. Many remembered old US colonial rule and wanted independence. In defense, they bought more weapons from Russia and China, reducing reliance on American arms. This move surprised experts as the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement weakened. Overall, it's a pragmatic pivot to balance power in Asia, avoiding being caught in US-China fights. The country now hosts joint exercises with China, signaling a new era. This distance helps Philippines grow its economy safely amid global tensions. Number 9. Kazakhstan. In Central Asia, turned away from US influence in 2025 by deepening ties with China and Russia. US sanctions on its energy sector due to Russian links pushed Astana to act. They joined the Shanghai Cooperation Organization more actively, hosting summits against Western meddling. Economically, major oil and gas deals with China bypassed US dollars, using yuan instead. This helped Kazakhstan's economy grow despite global slowdowns. Geopolitically, they ignored US calls to cut Russian ties, buying cheap oil and weapons from Moscow. Infrastructure boomed with China's Belt and Road. New railways and highways connected them east. Leaders like President Tokayev said it's about sovereignty, not picking sides. Culturally, more students went to Chinese universities, learning Mandarin over English. Trade with the US fell 15%, while with BRICS, nations rose sharply. This shift redefined Kazakhstan's identity as Eurasian, not Western-leaning. They even explored nuclear tech with Russia, worrying US officials. Overall, it's a smart move for stability in a tough region, focusing on neighbors who offer real support without lectures. Number 8. South Korea. South Korea surprised many by distancing from the US in 2025 after political shakeups. President Yoon's impeachment opened doors for leaders wanting balance. Trump's harsh tariffs on steel and cars hurt Seoul's exports badly. This led to new trade pacts with China and Europe. Geopolitically, South Korea reassessed its US security dependence, investing in homemade missiles and jets. They joined regional talks with Russia on energy, buying discounted oil despite US warnings. Economically, tech giants like Samsung shifted factories to Vietnam and India, away from US markets. Public anger grew over US bases. Protests called for fewer troops. In defense, they did joint drills with China for the first time, focusing on North Korea threats together. Trade with China hit record highs while US deals stalled. Leaders said it's about peace on the peninsula, not endless alliances. Culturally, K-pop and dramas boomed in Asia, reducing Hollywood's pull. This pivot helped South Korea stand tall, preparing for a world where US help isn't always there. Overall, it's a bold step toward true independence. Number 7. Thailand. Thailand felt ignored by US policies in 2025, leading to a shift eastward. Trump's trade rules undercut Thai farms and factories like rice and cars. This frustration pushed Bangkok to sign defense deals with China and Russia, joining their military drills. Geopolitically, Thailand prioritized ASEAN unity over US pacts, hosting talks on regional security without America. Economically, Chinese tourists and investments flooded in, building high-speed trains and ports. Leaders said US criticism of their government was too much. They wanted partners who respect them. In energy, they bought Russian oil cheaply, saving billions. Public view changed. Many saw China as a helpful neighbor, not a threat. Trade with the US dropped, but ASEAN and BRICS ties grew strong. Culturally, Thai schools added more Chinese lessons. This move helps Thailand stay stable amid coups and protests, focusing on Asia's growth. They even explored space tech with China. Overall, it's about mutual benefit, not one-sided alliances. Thailand is rethinking old friends for a brighter future. Number 6. Indonesia. Asia's biggest economy chose non-alignment in 2025, leaning toward China. President Prabowo visited Beijing first, signing huge deals on nickel and energy. U.S. tariffs on Indonesian goods like palm oil made them pivot. Geopolitically, they joined Chinese exercises and pushed ASEAN to stay neutral in U.S.-China rows. Economically, China's investments in roads and digital tech boomed, creating jobs. Leaders said they won't pick sides. It's about Indonesia's growth. Trade with China overtook the U.S., using local currencies to skip dollars. Public support grew for this independence, remembering colonial pasts. In defense, they built their own subs with Russian help. Culturally, more ties with Muslim nations in Asia reduced Western influence. This shift helps Indonesia lead in Southeast Asia, balancing powers smartly. They even hosted BRICS meetings. Overall, it's a drift to the east for stability and wealth, without fully cutting U.S. ties. Experts say it's natural due to geography and economy. Number 5. Cambodia. Cambodia turned to China fast in 2025 after U.S. froze aid over rights issues. Trump's policies cut funds, so Phnom Penh welcomed Beijing's billions via Belt and Road. Ports, airports, and cities got upgraded. Geopolitically, they aligned with China in ASEAN, ignoring U.S. calls for democracy. Economically, Chinese factories created jobs, boosting exports to Asia. Leaders like Hun Manet said China offers help without judging. Trade with the U.S. shrank, but tourism from China exploded. In military, they hosted Chinese bases quietly, buying their weapons. Public saw this as progress, escaping poverty. Culturally, Chinese language and culture spread in schools. This pivot embeds Cambodia in China's orbit, away from Western pressure. They even joined SCO talks. Overall, it's a survival move. U.S. conditions were too harsh. China gives real support. Experts worry about debt, but Cambodia says it's worth it for independence. This changes Southeast Asia's map. Number 4. Vietnam. Vietnam made a smart pivot in 2025, warming to China despite old rivalries. U.S. tariffs on shoes and phones hurt Hanoi's growth, so they boosted trade with Beijing by 25%. Geopolitically, joint projects on borders and energy eased tensions. Leaders said it's practical. China is next door, offering markets without politics. Economically, factories shifted to serve Asian buyers, reducing U.S. dependence. In defense, they did drills with Russia, buying subs cheaply. Public trust in U.S. fell after trade wars. Culturally, more exchanges with China built bridges. This shift helps Vietnam grow fast, joining RCEP fully. They even solved some sea disputes quietly. Overall, it's hedging bets in a changing world, not full betrayal, but balance. Experts see it as drift due to economy and location. Vietnam focuses on peace and profit, not superpowers games. This surprises many, given history, but times change. Number 3. Malaysia. Malaysia grew upset with U.S. actions in 2025, moving closer to China and others. Trump's tariffs on palm oil and chips hurt their economy a lot, so leaders like Prime Minister Anwar signed big deals with China for trade and tech, like 5G from Huawei. They also joined BRICS fully, getting support from Russia and Brazil for business. Geopolitically, as ASEAN chair, Malaysia pushed for Asian unity, ignoring U.S. calls to fight China in the South China Sea. They said U.S. meddles too much and doesn't respect them. Economically, trade with China boomed, with billions in investments for ports and data centers. Public opinion turned against U.S. policies on rights and tariffs. In defense, they did more joint work with China, buying weapons from them instead of America. Leaders focused on building ties with neighbors for growth, not waiting for U.S. tariffs to hit. This shift helps Malaysia stay strong in a changing world, focusing on equality and no interference. They even hosted talks to counter U.S. influence. Overall, it's about putting Malaysia first, leading to cooler U.S. ties. Number 2. Pakistan. Pakistan faced big changes with the U.S. in 2025, leading to a pull away. U.S. tariffs of 29% on exports like textiles cost them over $1 billion. This came after sanctions on military ties and Afghan issues. So, Islamabad got closer to China and Russia, expanding projects like CPEC for roads and power. Geopolitically, they ignored U.S. warnings, buying cheap Russian oil and weapons. Leaders said past U.S. drone attacks broke trust, and they want partners who don't interfere. Economically, trade shifted east, using yuan instead of dollars. Public anger grew over U.S. criticism of their government. In defense, joint drills with China increased, reducing American arms buys. This helps Pakistan handle crises at home, like economy woes. They joined SCO more actively for security talks. Overall, it's a move for independence, as U.S. interest dropped after Afghan pullout. Experts see it as a new low in ties, with Pakistan focusing on Asia for stability. This surprises many, but it's due to changing world powers. Number 1. India. India, a key U.S. partner, saw ties sour in 2025 over tariffs and Russia links. Trump slapped 25% then 50% tariffs on Indian goods, upset about India's cheap Russian oil buys after Ukraine war. This hurt trade worth $129 billion, causing a big deficit. Geopolitically, Modi met Putin often, signing energy deals and affirming special ties. India also warmed to China, visiting for talks despite border fights. Leaders said U.S. pushes too hard, risking years of friendship. Economically, India looked east for markets, insulating from U.S. hits. Public and experts worried about immigration rules and H-1B visas under Trump. In defense, arms from Russia continued, casting doubt on Quad Group with U.S. This rift pushes India to strategic autonomy, not full U.S. alignment. Overall, it's a shocking turn, as shared goals against China fade. Experts say Trump's moves backfired, driving India closer to rivals. India now leads its own path in Asia, rethinking old alliances. Wow, what a wild ride through Asia's big changes. If this shocked you, like and subscribe for more eye-openers. Thanks for watching. See you next time.